Hi, I'm Woody Huffines. I own the Nerds to Go in McKinney in Frisco, Texas, and this is Tech for the Untechnical. This is part 2 of a 2-part series, or 2-part videos, or okay, just one video and then another video because I didn't want to make one really long, on why, as a small or medium business, it's a good idea to use a managed service provider. In part 1, we talked about cost efficiency, expertise and specialization, proactive monitoring and maintenance, scalability, security, compliance, and access to advanced technology. Now let's talk about the next 6 reasons that it might be a good idea for your small or medium business to use a managed service provider to help you with your information technology infrastructure. Number 7 is if you have an MSP, you can focus on your core competencies. You're not spending your time learning or doing IT things, and that's not what your business does. What your business does is make widgets or sell real estate, or as a law firm or as an accounting firm. You don't need to know the IT stuff. Let the IT guys do that. Let you focus on your core competencies by letting us come in and be a managed service provider and take care of those things that aren't the kinds of things that you are good at. Same reason that you hire an attorney or you hire a bookkeeper is you don't want to spend time becoming an expert in something that's outside of the thing that you do for a business. Core competencies, a good reason to use a managed service provider. Another good reason to use a managed service provider is 24/7 support if you need it. Now, obviously, there's a cost that comes with being able to call somebody at 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, but we have the ability to support your organization. For example, we've got clients that have people all across the country and in some cases across the world. And it's nice for them to have an IT guy, a dedicated IT guy, and an IT company that can answer their questions 24/7. And that's one of the things that using a managed service provider like Nerds to Go will do for you, is that you can adjust the amount of support that you need. You need support on the weekends, you need support after hours, or is it a 9 to 5 support? It is a way to get you all the support you need on the timely basis when you need it. Managed service providers give that to our small and medium business clients. Next, and pretty importantly, this probably should be higher than number 9. I wasn't paying attention, but it's business continuity and disaster recovery. Those are two different things. A disaster recovery is, okay, the hurricane comes in and blows away your business, or a tornado comes in and destroys your business. How do you recover from that disaster? How do you get new computers and new things and backed up and build the infrastructure? And disaster recovery involves rebuilding your building and a whole bunch of other things. Business continuity is slightly different. So let's talk about disaster recovery first. If you don't have a good plan for how you're going to get your infrastructure and everything back up in place, then you probably need a managed service provider at least to help you with that, where you have a written information security plan so that if something bad happens, you know how you're going to get back to where you were. The more important point is business continuity. We use a business continuity backup, which means that if something bad happens to your computer, to your business, to your town, we have the ability that we have continuously, on an every hourly basis, backed up your servers or computers so that if that business is destroyed by a tornado, you can go home and log in to a virtual cloud copy of all of the computers and servers that you had before. So how long it takes you to get back up on your computer depends on how long it takes you to drive home. Now, disaster recovery plan may mean that you're not back in business in that location with that physical architecture in 6 months or 3 months or 6 weeks. Business continuity means that you have access to that server that just got blown away an hour later as a virtual copy in the cloud. That's the advantage of business continuity. And that's what we do as a managed service provider for our small and medium business clients, is give them disaster recovery, but also business continuity. With a managed service provider, you can reduce and mitigate a number of risks. Cybersecurity risk or IT risk is like any other risk. You can accept the risk, you can avoid the risk, you can mitigate the risk, or you can transfer the risk. Those are your choices. As a managed service provider, we can come in and help you determine where your risks are and whether these are risks that you can avoid, accept, if we can mitigate them, or maybe transfer them by using some cybersecurity insurance. So if we can reduce your risk as part of your IT infrastructure for the overall operation of your business, that's a good thing. And another reason that a small or medium business can use a managed service provider. The 11th reason that it's a good idea to use a managed service provider as a small or medium business is cost predictability. You know what it's going to cost to maintain that infrastructure. You know what it's going to cost to make sure you have a backup. You know what it's going to cost because as a managed service provider, we'll be talking to you ahead of time to say, hey, 6 months from now, maybe this computer needs to be upgraded or this computer needs to be replaced. It's a way to give cost predictability so that you don't wake up one day, and because we're doing proactive maintenance and monitoring, wake up one day with a problem. It's a $3,000 problem. If you have a managed service provider that's doing their job, they're looking ahead and making sure that things that are going to happen in the future you can start saving for, and there aren't going to be bad things happen in the future that make your cost predictability go into the trash can because you have a big expense that you hadn't planned on because you had an outage, or you had to restructure a machine, or you had a network go out. Cost predictability, it's important for small businesses, and that's what a managed service provider can do with your IT services. Finally, an advantage of using a managed service provider is vendor management. As a small or medium business, I talk to business owners all the time that are trying to get something done with GoDaddy or get something done with Microsoft. And Microsoft is a pain. And if we have to have a discussion with Microsoft for our clients that are business clients that we manage their infrastructure, if there's a Microsoft problem, we just handle it. If they're doing their Microsoft and I'm having to manage their vendor, then it's $179 an hour for me to do something that we would do as a managed service provider. GoDaddy, how many of you small business people want to look forward to having a call with GoDaddy to set up email accounts? Or how many of you look forward to talking to Spectrum about what your internet's doing? Or how many of you look for, well, you get the idea. We can help you with vendor management. We can deal with vendors because we have the information to understand what that vendor is doing and why they're doing it and how best to get that accomplished. And second, you don't have to be on the phone with Spectrum support. We'll take care of that for you. Vendor management is another important reason to have a managed service provider if you're a small or medium business. Remember, this is a two-part video. First part, we talked about the first 6 reasons you need a managed service provider if you're a small or medium business. Here are those. Today we talked about the next 6 reasons, and the first one is that you're able to focus on your core competencies. You run your business and we run your IT. You got 24/7 support available, and if you don't need 24/7 support, maybe you need 6-day support, maybe you need retail hour support. Managed service provider can make sure that you have the support that you need on the schedule that you need it. Disaster recovery and business continuity, not only to get your business up and running, but to keep your business from stopping running if you lose a server or you lose a computer that's critical to the operation of your business. We can get you back up and running in minutes, not days. We can reduce your risk, reduce the risk of an IT problem, a cybersecurity risk, a business risk, because we know the kinds of things that we can put together to make sure that your business is running and understanding what the risks are. Predictable budgeting. It's a monthly fee. You know what it's going to be and you know what's included, and we're going to help you plan for the future and see when costs are coming up. Instead of something breaks, because we're doing proactive monitoring, we can keep those emergency or emerging costs from showing up in your budget. And finally, vendor management. As an MSP, we can help you manage your IT vendors so you don't spend an hour on the phone with GoDaddy trying to get something solved that we know exactly what the problem is and can communicate with them in a way to short circuit and make that faster and much cheaper for you. So, 12 reasons that you need a managed service provider if you're a small or medium business. First 6, last 6. If you have any questions, give us a call at Nerds to Go in McKinney, or leave a comment below. Leave a like and subscribe if it's helpful to you, and then we'll talk again soon.